Alright, everybody. Welcome to this week's Dissecting Design. And we're going to be taking a look at one of my all-time favorite games, Devil May Cry 3. Devil May Cry 3 is considered, of course, I think to be the best of the original trilogy, and features, for my money, one of the best combat systems seen in a character action game, and one that hasn't really been fully replicated since, even with modern entries such as Bayonetta. And Devil May Cry 3 certainly occupies an interesting place. After the failure of the second game, the team went back to the drawing board for DMC3, and in doing so, not only fixed things up, which we'll see in a minute, but also added in some very curious elements that elevate the design. But I'm going to be keeping the sound pretty low for this because, one, the music is probably copyrighted, and two, they kind of play the same battle song for the entire length of the game. So I don't think we all want to hear that for the next 20 or so minutes. Anyway, I'm going to load the first mission, and we'll talk about the basic structure of the combat next. Alright, so we're in the first mission of the game, and you can see our little friend Dante here. Now, the first big change from Devil May Cry 2 to 3 is the general speed of Dante's attacks. Dante is a lot more reactive in this one compared to that last one. Basically, in the span of doing one of our combos here, it would probably take several times more to do the same thing in DMC2. Now, the Devil May Cry series is built on a dodge-based combat system, meaning that we have no real means to block attacks, but fans, of course, will probably know the exception in this one. Instead, we have to rely on motion and jumping to get out of the way. Now, the style system in the upper right, we'll talk about that in our next section. Now, each weapon has a pretty set list of combos, but we're able to string things along pretty well. Take that. Now, I'm playing this with my save file right now, which means that's why we have the Devil Trigger and a lot more health. But if we were playing this from the beginning, I would not be this powerful. Again, one of the things that the Devil May Cry series really became famous for is just the spectacle of combat. I'm hopping around with juggling enemies, we're able to switch between them fairly quickly. Take that. I think this level should be about done, too. And there we go. I think there's like one more enemy who needs to die. Done. Perfect. But with Devil May Cry 3 in particular, this is the one that really opened up the doors for a lot in terms of the technical play. And we'll talk about that one next. But basic gameplay structure between the Devil May Cry games did not change. You have your combination of arena-based combat with some very light puzzle solving and exploration, and of course the boss fights. But for the next part, I'm going to shoot things forward and we'll show off why I consider Devil May Cry 3 to be a very technical game. Alright, we're a little bit further in the game to talk more about the technical aspect of Devil May Cry 3's combat system. For the first time in the series, you're able to select two different weapons or devil arms at any time, but what's very interesting is I can alternate between them during combos. And you're going to be seeing that probably right now. So I'll start there, and hopefully can knock this guy up, hit him down, and you can only switch after the existing attack. Come on. We'll see a few more join. And this works for every devil arm in the game. Oh, now he's going to try and shoot me. Let's see if we can stop him in time. These range guys are probably the most annoying enemies. At least for me. Now, I'm not using my style buttons. We'll talk about that in the next part. Just showed off right there really quickly. Let's see, can I get the lock on? Perfect. Kill him. But again, trying to alternate, this guy's going to blow up, there we go, got him, between my various attacks. Now, a major part about this is how the combo system in Devil May Cry 3 was designed. If we come over here, hopefully I do the right button. That's the map. Get in there. Four times the charm. If we look here at the various devil arms, each one has a basic combo built around basically different pauses while you're attacking with triangle. And we move over here to another weapon. You can see how it works. And each weapon has its own different style, hit string, and what its kind of range and hurt box is when fighting enemies. You can switch weapons out at your little time statue here. But we're about to get to a boss, so we can show off a little bit more of the advanced technical play of the game. I'm going to skip the cutscene and get right into it. Now, the bosses in Devil May Cry 3, which is hopefully I won't die too badly here, are examples of a random pattern. Now, it's still pretty basic in terms of the time. It's not going to be too advanced, but we still have to react to the bosses. Also, take note of the cameras. We'll be talking about that in a few minutes when we get some of the issues. Alright, so now he's going to get stunned for a second. He's going to try and swing. Alright, he's getting angry. Now I can activate Devil Trigger, which is a mainstay of the series, for increased damage. He's going to try and do something here, and to get myself some health back. I'm sure he's about to charge me. Eat an anti-tank rifle, buddy. Now, a random pattern means that the boss has a set number of attacks it will do. I just don't know what he's going to do and when. Come on, buddy. He's kind of angry because I chopped his eye there. Hopefully we can deal with him. He's going to keep charging at me. This is why I really like Rebellion as my basic attack. Just makes it a lot easier to dodge attacks when it works. Now he's kind of pissed off right now, but we'll just have to deal with it. And again, I'm trying not to use the style button on purpose, because we're going to talk about it in the next section. Oh, he almost got me. Wait, did he? Nope, we're good. Come on, buddy. Come on down. He's going to hit me with that blast. Yep, I knew that was going to come the second he started doing it. But again, the combat system in Devil May Cry 3 and 2 is largely unchanged in terms of how combos work, but Dante has a lot more moves open to him. And the general speed that I'm able to attack and dodge is a very big part of enhancing that combat. Ooh, he's trying to snipe me. It's a sniping fight here. He's going to charge at me again. Uh-oh. Gonna do an explosion. There we go. Come on, buddy. Just stay still for a few more seconds while I hopefully Devil Trigger him down. He's gonna do his little angry attack because I chopped him in the eye. And this should just wear him out. Oh, we finish with a stinger. Perfectly. And again, we're going to skip the cutscenes here, just so we can keep things moving along. Now that should be the chapter. And another cutscene there, but that's that. Now with this combat system, again, with each weapon having its own unique attacks, and being able to string any two of them along as you see fit, it really opened up the door for basically creating your own custom combo strings and patterns. And there are videos of expert level play of people doing insane stuff with the combination of weapons. But while the weapons certainly add to the technicality of Devil May Cry 3, there is still the matter of the style systems that we're going to talk about next, and how that elevated things even further. With Devil May Cry 3, the team at Capcom came up with an interesting way to add a little bit more diversity to Dante's moveset and some sense of customization on the player's part. And that came in the form of the styles. Now there's 4 styles here, but there's an additional one that gets unlocked about 3/4 to halfway through Devil May Cry 3. The styles themselves are all cued to circle if you're playing this on the PlayStation controller. And how it works is that each style does something different with circle. Trickster is designed around dodging and basically gives Dante a quote-unquote dodge roll, something we would see, of course, in later action games. Swordmaster basically gives each one of your devil arms an additional set of moves, again, tied to circle. And again, each weapon gets its own combination here. Rebellion gets something very useful just to start with the ability to string attacks while in the air. And I'm going to make use of that for this next section. Gunslinger, pretty much obvious. You want to use your guns more, this is what you're going to build. And again, every weapon getting its own thing. And then Royal Guard is the curious one. This basically gives Dante a block, which is not something we see in the Devil May Cry style of action games. We would, for instance, with Bayonetta, she also doesn't have a block. It's all dodge base. And this is considered kind of the advanced one to use. But I'm going to keep Swordmaster on so we can mix things up. And just to make things a little bit more interesting, I'm going to take off Cerberus and we'll put on Agni and Ruta as kind of to mix up our combos. And of course, I didn't show it earlier, but every weapon in Devil May Cry also gets items or additional moves you can unlock by spending souls, or I'm sorry, orbs. All my action games are blurring together, folks. But let's load things up here, and hopefully I don't die too badly. But in this one, basically I'm in permanent Devil Trigger, but I'm losing health as we're standing around. So what's going to happen is, once we get to the next fight, which will probably come as soon as we get back on this little bridge, I'm going to make use of these styles to show off how they add to your combat. They're going to be coming any second. And one of my favorite is right here. Just knock them in the air, and then just do your air hike, or I don't know the exact name, sadly, but we can also send them up like so. And again, because I'm in devil form, we're doing even more damage, which is why they are kind of falling down fairly quickly. There's another move. And again, just trying to mix things up and make use of it like that. And we're going to talk about the style system, probably right now. The style, as you can see in the upper right, is very important. Not only is it a kind of a quote-unquote badge of honor in Devil May Cry, but it gives you more souls. What's very interesting is that it's measured not only on not taking damage, but also me switching up my attacks. It remembers what attacks I'm using at any given time. One second, just want to blow this up. There we go. And will give me basically less meter if I'm doing attacks that I'm repeating over and over again. So I'm trying to switch up my moves as well as my weapon. And it is a very tough order to get the mythical triple S. You really have to be on the ball and probably not talking while you're playing to get it. But this is like one of the few action games where it really feels like a reward to get that triple S rating. Previous Devil May Cry games have that rating, but it's not as interesting to do. Now there's a little challenge down there, but our health is running out, so I can't really do it now. Oh no, more guys. Where are they? Ah, there they are. Charge him down. And again, notice how I knocked him up with Agni, switched to Rebellion on the as soon as I got up there. Let's see. Can we go for a triple S? I'm going to try it, folks. Now, one problem is that I'm doing so much damage that they're dying quicker than I can keep the combo. Let's see. Anybody else needs to die? There you are. And that's another sword master. I throw my sword at the guy. Come on, anybody else want to die? Yeah, I'm killing them so fast I can't build up the hit strings to get a triple S right now. But we should be almost done with this chapter. Ooh. Ah, yes, the annoying birds. If I don't have to fight them, I'm just going to run. There we go. And I think we're like one room away from the end of this section. Oh, yes, I remember this now. This can be a bit of annoyance. And we'll probably talk about that in our next part. But first, let me just hopefully get this across. Oh, looks like I got one more fight. Kind of a mini-boss. Alright. And again, every weapon has... 1 second. A different kind of hit string to it, even though they both make use of the same combo styles. Aren't you annoying tonight? Trying to kill everything. There you go. He's going to do that. The idea behind fighting the Grim Reaper is to basically get him to do his little combo attack, and dodge, and then counter. Right there. Oh, good. Doesn't really help me now, but nice to have, right? Now all we have to do is cross this bridge. And we're good. So while Dante's busy spitting out this magic orb of his, again, the style system is a really great element to the game because not only does it reward you, but really tests your knowledge on DMC3's combos. And again, how it works is simply by the fact that it remembers like the last hit or so. So one of the potential strategies you can do, while I'm being attacked, oh, I think that's a challenge there, is that you start a combo or you start using your same attacks and you'll quickly switch to another weapon and just do like a few hits with that one so the game no longer remembers your previous combo. Switch back to it and you just keep this going as often as possible. Oh, we have this guy coming up. I think this is another boss. Yep. Oh yeah, this one. This can be a bit of an annoying one. I may just cut the video here so that we don't have to see it, but we'll see how much. Oh, and this is actually when we get the next power, too. Sometimes I time all this stuff properly. It's amazing. So the idea is we just want to keep shooting him until he stops. And then we just get him that way. Because if we do enough damage, he will get knocked down. And that's our cue, basically. But there's 2 stages to this fight. If I upgrade my handgun, this will actually be a lot quicker in terms of doing that stagger damage. Surprised I didn't get hit there. He should be stopping there. Good. He's knocked down. But I think we just piss him off. Oh, there's his slowdown. That's a power that we'll get as soon as Horsey is dead. When his health gets to, I think, about half, we go to phase 2. Or maybe even earlier than that. There we go. So this is the actual. I'm about to get hit here. Oh no, we're actually good. And notice I'm still switching my combos in mid-attack. Oh no. Oh, he's bucking. You know, I've never seen someone hit me with a cart before. Now, the bosses are designed that you don't need a style to beat them, but it certainly helps, especially one of the first fights with Cerberus. Now, as soon as he's done dodging this, which should be any second, I'll go back into Devil Trigger. There we go. So we'll close the gap with Rebellion. Now he's knocked down again. Oh. He's going to be charging. Oh, I almost got it. You can also jump on the cart. Uh-oh. No, get away. And do damage that way. Look how annoying he is. Stop that, buddy. Just keep wanting to do damage until we stagger him. Come on. And your pistols, as a fun fact, were severely nerfed from Devil May Cry 2 to 3, simply because they were just too damn good. You could just basically just shoot up bosses with level 3 pistols. It was that crazy. Hey. Oh, this could be painful, folks. Uh-oh. I think I'm going to take a safety here. If I can remember what the button is. There we go. Just so I don't show off me dying on this video. Come on. Almost got him. But, as we're talking, after this fight is over, we'll get the time pause ability that a lot of speedrunners I've seen like to use. Alright, so that should stagger him. Oh, almost. Maybe I can finish him off before he goes to the next pattern. There we go, perfect. So he dies. We get Quicksilver here. So this slows down enemies, allowing you to do more attacks in the span of a single time. And there's one additional style you do get, and that's basically a shadow clone of Dante. But with that fight, this chapter ends. So we'll be back in a minute, and I'm going to talk about some of the limitations of Devil May Cry 3 next. Alright, so for this last part, as we're getting close to the end, Devil May Cry 3 is not a perfect game. One of the big things about it is the camera. The game makes use of a largely fixed camera positions and angles, with some degree of malleability by the player. The problem, though, is that it can be very hard when you're playing Devil May Cry 3 to get the proper perspective on where things are and where Dante is basically moving and his jumping. So you'll see as we're moving around, the camera will keep on changing. So now I'm supposed to go down here. This can make things very tricky when you're fighting enemies at different parts of a room, or if enemies are attacking at range around the player. Now we come over here. Again, I have some or very light control in certain rooms when it comes to Dante's ability or to the camera. But for the most part, it is fixed cameras. Now that wasn't too bad, but there are some parts later on that can be a little bit hard. Now also to show it off, I've equipped the Quicksilver one that we unlock at the end of the last part. So I can actually show what that does. So it uses up our magic, but it allows me to basically slow down time. So I can do longer combo strings. And again, like, this is not a good camera when you're trying to see enemies coming at you, as you can probably guess. And some of the range enemies can be very annoying because of this. Also, depending upon how you jump and move around Devil May Cry 3, you can be in one camera perspective, jump into a second one, and while you're moving through that jump, go through at least another one or two camera angles. So you can guess that platforming is a lot harder in this one. And unlike Devil May Cry 1, Dante doesn't get stuck, he doesn't just fall off edges. Or I'm sorry, he does. In the original Devil May Cry, basically, if I'm running towards an edge, Dante will not fall off it unless I specifically jump. This can make things a little bit harder when you're fighting enemies who are on different elevations, but it made the platforming a lot easier. In this one, that's not the case. Yes, that little challenge. And perfect, here are some ranged enemies. And there, you can see how the camera kind of shifted multiple times. That was a good jump right there. I didn't think I was going to do that. But we'll just deal with them very quickly. Now, another thing, the enemy AI is on the basic side. Even with the various bosses, it's still an example of you can really exploit their patterns. Even though it is largely a random pattern system, by getting into certain strings or distances, that's better, it becomes a point of you exploiting it. Now, later action games, particularly the Souls titles, do buck that trend by giving the enemies multiple patterns and increasing their actual speed. But in Devil May Cry 3, like one of the things we did on stream was fighting Virgil, and we just basically got into the same particular groove and repeated that. Now, you can't do that as much on the later versions of that fight, but it's still an example, and there's another bit of the camera getting all weird, of being able to exploit things. So I'm going to try something here. Let's see. Why is it not giving me slowdown? There we go. Oh, that's why. My bad. You have to be holding R1 to do it. So like right here. And then we can kind of do whatever we want combo-wise to that guy while he's in the air. But like, again, this was more of a traditional or a modern action game. The camera would have either spun or we could spin it so that we're not just running directly towards the camera. This is something that's largely a byproduct or a design style of the Thousands action games, or the last decade. And when things moved along to the third person over the shoulder with a Devil Souls, there we go, that's Nick's game, folks, with Dark Souls, it kind of solved that problem. But with that said, I'm going to go back to the main menu, and we're going to discuss my final thoughts next. Alright, so when it comes to Devil May Cry 3, like I said, this is one of my favorite action games. Despite the somewhat antiquated camera, it has one of the best overall combat systems. And one of the big differences between Devil May Cry 3, or this kind of character action gameplay, versus something more modern like the Dark Souls series, is that Devil May Cry allows for a lot more personality for your combos and your general attacks. With a game like Dark Souls, you just don't get that level of technical play, and there's a big part of that. It would just be too much for the player to concentrate on. Now, Neo probably is the closest, I think, analog towards this kind of action or more of a technical-based combat to Devil May Cry compared to Dark Souls and Bloodborne. But it still doesn't match the display or the amount of options you have during fighting. When you watch me play Neo, or if you've seen any footage of it, it still has that more of a grounded and methodical approach to Dark Souls, and that's because of your key being essentially a limiter in terms of what you can do. Devil May Cry obviously has no limit like that. I can be jumping, spinning, slashing, bouncing off enemies, and do everything that I can, and nothing's going to stop me. And that's all enhanced further by the Devil Trigger that acts as essentially your trump card and a way of restoring health. Now, with Devil May Cry 3, what happened was with the later games, Devil May Cry 4 was okay, but it kind of downplayed somewhat of the technical aspects, and a lot of people didn't like how it kind of felt padded out with repeated content. DMC, that's its own separate thing, which maybe we'll do at some point. while I really did like Devil May Cry or DMC's combat system, it definitely lacked the technical aspect of Devil May Cry 3 in favor for more verticality or agility on Dante's part. Now, with the special edition here, you also get Virgil, who has his own attacks and styles to make use of. But I haven't been in the game yet with this version of it to show that off. But with that said, for you folks watching this, what did you think of Devil May Cry 3? And can you think of other modern examples, besides something like Neo, that kind of went for this very high-octane combat compared to some of the limited base, or more that kind of a slow ebb and flow feel of Dark Souls, For Honor, and even something like Bloodborne? But with rumors of a Devil May Cry 5 going to be announced soon, hopefully Capcom will definitely look at this for its inspiration, and hopefully not Devil May Cry 2. But with that said, thank you so much for watching this week's Dissecting Design. Be sure to check back for daily discussions on game design here and on game wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games, with hopefully new pieces coming up each Monday. And if you have a suggestion for a game for me to tackle next, be sure to leave that in the comments below. But we'll say goodbye to these two lovely fellows here, and I will see you guys next time. Before we get to the credits, just want to give a quick shout out to the fans and supporters over on patreon.com/gwbicer. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Check back around 10 Eastern for regular streaming. If you'd like to suggest games for me to cover or topics to talk about, let me know in the comments below. For a collection of my writings as well as weekly podcasts on design, check out game-wisdom.com. To support the Game Wisdom Patreon, you can find us on there on patreon.com/gwbicer. $1 will get you into our private Discord channel where we talk game topics and more. $5 will get you voting privileges for any major event, including the Saturday Night Grab Bag, Patreon-funded goals, and more. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you enjoy more videos here on the Game Wisdom YouTube channel.